Welcome to Parshas Chukas. It should be for schus for my family and all of Klal Yisrael. Rav Eliezer Chaim Meisel, the Rav of Lodz, was known for his tireless efforts on behalf of the poor. He would personally go door to door, even to the homes of the wealthy, to collect tzedakah for those in need. On one occasion, he approached a wealthy individual who was known in town for his stinginess and lack of empathy toward the downtrodden. Yet this time Rav Meisel spoke to his heart. He told him about a respected, upstanding member of the community who had fallen on hard times and was in desperate need. This was truly a matter of hatzalos nefashos. Moved by the plea, the man gave generously. But not long after, the wealthy man began boasting to his friends about the sizable donation he had made to that respectable fellow, proudly crediting himself for the act. Word of his boasting reached the recipient of the tzedakah, who was deeply distressed. It was bad enough to suffer financial ruin, but now he felt publicly humiliated. The man sought out Rav Meisel and begged him, "Please, ask him to stop the shvichas damim. He is killing me and my family with shame." Rav Eliezer Chaim called in the boastful donor and gave him a strong rebuke. "You caused unbearable heartache to someone who lost everything and only accepted help because he had no choice. You turned kindness into cruelty." Then the Rav added a powerful insight from the very opening Rashi on Parshas Chukas. Rashi explains why the Torah calls the laws of Parah Adumah achukah, and Hashem says, "Gezerah hi malfanai," it is a decree from before me. You have no permission to think about it afterwards, to question it. Rav Meisel explained, this message applies to tzedakah as well. Before giving, one should remember, Gezerah hi malfanai. This is a mitzvah commanded by Hashem. Give with a generous heart, with humility and compassion. And after giving, we are not meant to dwell on how much we gave or to whom. Once the mitzvah is done, let it remain a quiet act of kindness between us and Hashem. And Shlomo Melech writes in Mishlei, Rav Meisel continues, Matan b'seiser yechbe'af. All gifts given in secret calms anger. When we give quietly, we not only preserve the dignity of those in need, we also bring peace and blessing into the world. Why does the Torah say ותמת sham Miriam, and Miriam died there? Why add the word sham, there? Why not simply write, and Miriam passed away? The Chiddushei Shmuel offers a deep insight. When a tzaddik or tzedakah passes away, it is a loss specifically to that generation. He compares it to a woman who loses a precious gem. The gem still exists somewhere, but to her it is gone. Its light and beauty are no longer present in her life. So too when the Torah says sham, there, it is telling us that there, in that moment, in that generation, Miriam died and was buried. That generation experienced the loss. We see this clearly immediately after Miriam's passing. The well had sustained Bnei Yisrael stopped flowing. But that is not the end of the story. Miriam's greatness lived on. The use of the word sham limits the loss to a specific time and place, but not her legacy. A tzaddik or tzadakah may be lost to their own generation, but their impact continues to inspire future generations. The well may have stopped, but the inspiration still flows. Chazal tell us that the well which provided water to Bnei Yisrael in the Midbar existed in the zechus of Miriam. The be'er, a spring-fed well, also plays a significant role in several halachic discussions. Halachically, both a be'er and a ma'ayan, a spring, are considered flowing. They're like spring water. However, a ma'ayan is naturally occurring, and a be'er is man-made, but draws from a natural spring underground. This distinguishes both from a bore, a pit, which also is man-made, like a be'er, but holds only accumulated rainwater. Because of this difference, the Maharik rules that a be'er, a well, which comes from naturally flowing water may be used for mikvah, even for tahara from a zav, which requires flowing spring water. Of course, there are many shitos in this area, and one should ask their local posek. But the bear is also discussed in Halachos matzah. The Rema writes that l'chachila one should prefer water from rivers rather than from be'erot, than from wells, when preparing mayim shalanu for baking matzah. Mishnah Berurah explains why. During Nissan, the sun passes beneath the earth during the day, which causes groundwater to warm slightly, making well water less ideal. Rivers, by contrast, remain cooler as their water flows and dissipates heat over the distance. That said, the Rema and Mishnah Berurah also note that when river water is warm due to melting snow or heavy rain, be'erot may be preferable, since their temperature may actually be more stable. It all depends for matzah on the temperature of the water. These are just two areas in Halachah where be'er, a well, come into play, both by mikvah and matzah baking. Have a wonderful Shabbos.